stop what you're doing right now and lock in, because we are breaking down the film of the top 4 Rookie of the Year candidates. And of course, we've already done breakdowns on all 4 of these wonderful QBs. But today, we're going to go even deeper. And at the end, I'm giving you a free play on who you should go bet for Rookie of the Year. Now, are there other players that could win it? Yeah, including the guy that caught this pass right here. But we'll discuss that at the end of today's video. But for the most part, we will focus on the quarterbacks, one of which already completed a Patrick Mahomes no-look pass in practice. And I have been blown away at how far along all 4 of these signal callers are in their progress, okay? And we'll start off with the man who has the best play caller of any of the 4, and his name is Bo freaking Nix. Let's get to it. Chapters are listed below, and yeah, it is going to be an absolute action-packed video, okay? I want to start off with this Packers game. We actually haven't done a video yet on this game, and man, it was another wonderful performance from Bo Nix. So you start off play action fake, got a tight end just cruising over the middle, really good protection. That's an excellent chip right there from the RB, Javonte Williams. And Bo Nix taking what the defense gives him, and it's an easy first down on this 3rd and 1. So Bo Nix isn't known for his vertical passing as well as the other 3 quarterbacks we'll discuss, but when it comes to accuracy, especially in the intermediate, he is truly elite, and he is truly elite at taking what the defense gives him. One thing you'll see from all of these quarterbacks today is they are really, really freaking good rolling out, in particular to their right side. So the end does a really good job of redirecting and being a contained defender, but he did bite in enough to keep Bo Nix with a little bit of an angle to throw this football to a guy they just cut in Tim Patrick. I wish every football game was shot from this angle, okay? This is the absolute perfect angle. It's not as high up as your traditional all-22, and it's not too low for where you can't really see anything, okay? This is kind of a weird play for me. This is a running back out here. I do think if you're playing this and the safety is this far back, you can throw this whole shot. All right, you can. It is a dangerous throw, but I think that could have been made, if you ask me. But Bo Nix decides to tuck and run, and that's never a bad option. It's also an option that rarely turns into a turnover, but still, really good stuff. All right, we get to here. And I personally, and I've talked about this in our Bryce Young film study, am heavily invested into this Broncos offense. And my guy is I almost said Tim Patrick. It's Courtland Sutton. So Bo Nix starts off looking left, works all the way back to the right, and throws an absolute missile here. DBs are so far back. I think actual starters would be a little bit tighter on Courtland right there. Still, you give Bo Nix credit for the throw. And we get to here, play action fake. This play is so hard to stop. We've discussed it ad nauseum. This is really, really, really elite quarterback play, though. I know it looks very simple, but this is not. All right. Normally, the design is to just throw this to the running back, right? But Bo Nix, look at this angle that he actually throws his football to Tim Patrick. That is not easy. A lot of quarterbacks would just throw this, and this might actually still score. But that is not the hardest throw, but it definitely isn't easy either. This guy might actually be pretty good. I mean, first thing, I love Sean Payton on the first Bo Nix kind of rep here. You motion out the running back. I love it. It makes life easier on your QB. The corner stays out on the running back, so it makes you believe it's going to be some variation of zone. Even though we don't have the all-22, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we know they're in some variation of single high safety. So there's one guy deep back there. So Bo Nix knows if it is single high, I can look left and work back to the right, thinking that this is going to be open. The out and up to Dulcich, the tight end, he is kind of late. You could see he's kind of pausing right here. Base is very wide. He does reset, eventually throw it. With the guy at his feet, you notice he couldn't really step into it, as the protection breaks down. And that's what causes this ball to die, okay? If he doesn't get hit at his knees, he's probably throwing this football on target, but it does become an interceptable pass on his very first play. It was a good job right there by Dulcich to break it up. Let's get to this next rep here. And once again, I'm not a coach or a player. These are all my best educated guesses, so I'm going to need your help in the comment section. Let me know if you think Bo Nix should definitely be the starter. This is fine. It is very busy in this pocket. I prefer quarterbacks being able to step up into the pocket, but this footwork, I think most QB coaches will tell you it's noisy. Now, the Colts, remember, they stole Latu in the first round. That's what you get if you have a great pass rusher like that, someone that could bend the edge. But another thing, in 72's defense, this is a deep drop from Bo Nix. So he does eventually step up, reset your feet if you're actually going to throw the football. He decides to throw a floater. It's a little bit of a duck, and it ends up being a very easy incompletion. All right, one of my hardest takes on Underdog Fantasy is Courtland Sutton. I love Courtland Sutton. I think he's getting potentially a QB upgrade, even though some say Russell Wilson was a better fit for his skill set. And why do I love Courtland Sutton? He's a big target. He's a QB's best friend. Latu gets absolutely demolished. This is a really good job right here by Bo Nix. If they're going to give up contain that easy, you're mobile. Let's be a playmaker, okay? So he breaks his pocket here to the left side, and against his body here, throws an unfreaking believably accurate pass to, once again, a big target here in Courtland Sutton. And now we get to the Bo Nix game. This is who he is. Low ADOT, quick passer, all right? You're giving me an easy out, I'm going to take the easy out. And by how quickly he plays, you could see that this double A-gap blitz got home. It doesn't matter when you're throwing the football that accurately and that quickly. When you do that, you give an experienced playmaker like Josh Reynolds a chance to turn upfield and gain the maximum single high safety here, all right? So Bo Nix knows single high versus press down here. If I look left, I know I can work the go back right, all right? The only way this isn't there is if this guy just completely bails out at the snap. The likelihood of that happening is very low based on the distance of these defenders. So Bo Nix knows I'm looking left, and he's predetermining that he's throwing this football to the right. So he knows he has plenty of room to make this throw. Once again, the protection breaks down, but because Bo Nix has played so much football, he understands the game, he's got a great coach in Sean Payton, that ball is perfect. It needs to be caught. It needs to be caught. This is a Courtland Sutton special ball. Courtland Sutton is catching this. So if you like film studies such as this, subscribe, ring the bell. Once again, I'm not the smartest film study analyst out there. I just love doing this, okay? I will tell you, this is a concept that everyone should know. It is the most common concept, I believe, in the modern passing game that is played from high school all the way up to the NFL. It's mesh rail. So mesh is two shallow drags that rub against each other, and there's a rail from the running back. Now, a lot of times, the way I like to run mesh is there is a hook route that is going to be your zone beater, and you have other routes. You have one more route attached to it as well, and it looks like the hook is right here. You get a mesh right here, okay, and it's kind of hard for me to see if this was open to Tim Patrick for the first. Let's see, was it? I think it was. It just depends on where this DB was. You would like to see this get thrown. But Bo Nix decides to tuck and run. And the good thing about tucking and running, versus man coverage, they're going to have your backs turned to you in coverage. So running is a more profitable decision for a QB against man than versus zone. Okay? So Bo Nix this is a part of his game, right? He can run, and he picks up a really, really nice first down. All right, Audric Estime, another guy I've drafted the hell out of on Underdog Fantasy. Like a ridiculous amount of Estime. More so in the pre-draft process. I don't think this was the best landing spot for him. But once again, this is just Bo Nix football, all right? He is just really good at these kinds of things, okay? Didn't like anything downfield. Kind of tough to see if there was nothing open downfield. Obviously, Kroll, the tight end, over the middle eventually did get open. But this isn't a negative play. It's on first down. You're stretching the defense. So I guess you'll take the 2 yards here. You can see Sean's a little frustrated. Maybe something was open and we don't see it. Also love the Jordan 11s. Ha, ha, ha. So you would normally associate this play with the other quarterback, right? Anthony Richardson. This is a QB design run all the way, all right? And when you're playing Bo Nix, you're not really accounting for that because it's not really his game. This is just excellent stuff. If they're running a lot of man coverage, which the Colts have been doing, run misdirection as well. And if they've been giving up contain like the Colts edges have been giving up, take those contained yards. They are free, right? There's no handoff. There's no throw that needs to be made. It's a relatively turnover-worthy play. And, if you were to just look at the short passing game, Bo Nix is the best quarterback in this class. I mean, it is ridiculous how quickly he is able to read the intermediate. And look at this, okay? Once again, RPO action. If you like this throw, take it. Marvin Mims, hit him on his upfield shoulder, and he does. Okay, not the absolute most accurate throw, but to get it out that quickly, get a tutty. So if you're a Broncos fan watching this, one stat about Sean Payton that sets him above everyone else is his throws to the running back. So of the 20 seasons in NFL history of teams that have thrown the most to the running backs, Sean Payton has 8 of the 20. Now really think about that. 8 of the 20 seasons. So teams know Bo Nix, short area passer, they're trying to get the screen game going. And this one is not just snuffed out. It's snorkeled out. But 74 sees the screen as well, and he decides to not chase Bo Nix anymore, but chase the running back. So Bo Nix sees that. That is excellent guile. Quarterbacks oftentimes are just told to just throw it away if you don't think so. He says no to that, and the danger of that is you could get a legal man downfield. This is a good job by 76 stopping in his tracks. It's really good football IQ because that allows Bo Nix to still throw past the line of scrimmage while taking a hit, hits the tight end wide open. So as a defensive lineman, you always want one lineman to continue rushing towards the quarterback. But Bo Nix, not forcing it. Kroll is a very interesting player along with Greg Dulcich. I think that's a good young tight end room. This is really good processing for Bo Nix, all right? So they have been running a lot of one high. Now they're running two high, okay? And if you want to see our Spencer Rattler film study, this throw is not easy. This is a lot of processing power, all right? What the Colts are doing here is running, or what the Broncos are doing here is they're running a smash concept here. So you got a route in the flat, and you got the corner route here. It looks like it's a corner route on this side. That's not there. They have this covered in the flat. This corner is able to play both it's just really well played right here by this corner. Sure, eventually you can work back and hit this for a few yards. But Bo Nix says, no, don't want to work the smash. I do want to step up in this pocket and hit the in-breaker in a tight-ish window. That is really, really good processing by Bo Nix. But this is where it needs to get cleaned up just a little bit, right? Sean Payton's going to have running backs back there and tight end chips to help out with the pass rush. The footwork is a little sloppy, and this could have been done quicker, okay? Bang, bang, feet could have been set, and this ball be out. And, he's kind of throwing on the run. We've seen this a few times. And it's behind the receiver. So I'm in a giving mood. I want to give out some stuff. I already gave out a Broncos card to a viewer, to a Broncos fan. Shout out to, I believe, Garrett. Garrett. Shout out to you, man. You got yourself some Broncos memorabilia heading your way. I want to send another Broncos card. let's see what happens here. Okay. Obviously, this wasn't the best piece of quarterbacking in the world. Okay. One thing I will say, and different quarterbacks are taught different things. It is a little alarming how far back Bo Nix can get in his drop. Okay, I feel like he can climb just a little bit quicker. Why is my alarm going off at 1:15 in the afternoon? That is weird. But please correct me if I'm wrong, QB coaches. I feel like he could step up a little bit sooner. And right here, he kind of steps up into pressure. But you see the accuracy. He sidearms this ball to, once again, not necessarily his upfield shoulder, but he does give his receiver a chance to cut back and make a play. This does end up being a really good open field tackle. And this is kind of sort of the same thing, right? You're stepping up, kind of stepping into the rusher here, okay? They are just bringing 4. And let's see. You could just kind of stop here and make this throw, all right? But instead you kind of run into the pressure. But I want you to see this arm angle. I don't know how he fit this in. I mean, look at this. My goodness gracious. Bang. Bo Nix, you dirty animal. That was gross. Made it tougher than it needed to be, but nice positive gain. The issue, though, is we don't always want that throw, all right? It was inbounds. So we've got to hurry, get to the ball here, and now you're snapping with the clock moving with no timeouts. So not the best awareness, not the absolute worst. You still have a chance here. This is a good read. Just throw it up, see if your guy can make a play. You just got to make sure that this isn't interceptable. And guess what? It was, okay? When in doubt, throw it away. Take the 3 points. All right. I think one thing people get wrong about the quarterback position are the half beats, right? You can watch Anthony Richardson film study from the same game, and he has a tendency to be a half beat late on his throws, okay? This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Bo Nix is deciding to throw this football right now. Okay, once again, does have a tendency to drift, but if you're throwing this quickly, it really doesn't matter. Okay, so once again, backup defenders, you're not, this guy's probably making this tackle if he's an actual pro, but like Coach 30 says, he pisses down his leg. And Davis's mom is going to be so mad at 33. And 87 right here, Davis Sills, I think that's a West Virginian. All right, so this is the Sean Payton offense. If he could throw to the running back 30 times a day, he would. Short, quick passes, okay? They finally get a screen off. They finally get the football in their most explosive running back's hands. Jaleel McLaughlin is definitely a target, more so in full PPR leagues, but you see the explosion. Sean Payton sees on 3rd and 3, they've been running a lot of man-under principles, okay? So we want to give Bo Nix a man-beater. Also, one thing to keep in mind for all you football fans, defensive coordinators love blitzing in this middle-tier area because a sack could knock you out of field goal range. There's a lot of equity in getting a sack. It could, knock 3 points off. So you want to get something out that is relatively quick. So essentially, the Broncos run a screen and roll, right? Vele, the rookie, comes over here, and he sets a screen for McLaughlin, and it is really hard in man coverage to pass this off. It's too hard for 37 to just pick up this guy. And as you can see, 47 decides to go under it, and Vele does a really good job of not touching him at all right? So it's not a pick. Did he indeed pick him? Yes, but legally. All right, did not touch him. This is as good as you're going to see. All right, so Bo Nix sees that linebacker fall down. He knows McLaughlin's fast as you know what, and he just has to loft this thing up, okay? Now, could you have placed that ball any better? Probably not. And you want Jaleel McLaughlin getting these touches because he can make people miss and fall forward. That's a really good job. Once again, Bo Nix, low sack rate, unbelievable accuracy, one of the highest completion percentage QBs you'll find, okay? Getting it out quick, here to your tight end, getting a few yards. All right, so before we get to this last rep, let me know, do you think Bo Nix is going to start every game this year? Comment below. This was really impressive. But like we said in all the other, preseason rookie film studies, a lot of this was against backups. And everything is just that much harder when you're going up against starters. It's just that simple, okay? And, man, it's just ball location. This one wasn't the best. Bo Nix would like to have this one back. But, man, this was really good. And I wasn't a big Bo Nix fan when he was coming out. But I am a huge Sean Payton fan. Now, this is ridiculously good quarterback play. So they're running smash here to the bottom and a levels here on the backside. So based on the leverage of these DBs at the snap, this is smash over here is not good, right? They're outside shaded to these receivers. This is never going to be there. So Drake Maye does a good job getting off of that and working backside to these two in-breakers. Okay, so you got an in-breaker here, and then you have an in-breaker here. This is a really, really well-done full-field read. This does take a long time to develop. I think the receivers kind of got in their own way right here, and it took an eternity for Baker to get through here. So give a lot of credit to this pass protection, but look at this dart. Pocket is perfect. It is absolutely perfect. You're rarely going to have a pocket like that, but to put it right on the number is insane. Okay, this is absolutely disgraceful, and whoever at the Patriots allowed this to happen deserves to not have their job. Okay, first off, love this play design. Play action. They did a lot of this with Joe Milton as well, under center. Leave Nolan Smith, a freak athlete out of Georgia, unblocked. And look at this arm angle to get the ball right here to number 87. Now, number 87 should never be worn again by a New England Patriot. I understand it's preseason. You got a lot of jersey numbers you got to fill out. But that is just a disgrace to one of the best football players of all time. There you go, 1st and 10. One of my LSU guys right here. This is just really good quarterbacking, okay? If you see the corner is in man right here, just get this football out quickly and just take these yards here on 1st and 10. And the ball location is bad, okay? And that's part of the down-to-down consistency that people got on Drake Maye about. All right, so now we go right into this 3rd and 7. And it's cut off right at the snap, but so Drake Maye gets the snap. And this ends up being a good ball, right? The safety is pinned in enough in this alignment. I love when they shoot the game at a wider angle. So Drake Maye knows he could fit a sideline ball in. It's got to be an absolute seed. But the issue here is Javon Baker ran a bad route, okay? You've got to give yourself more real estate on the sideline. That is Kelee Ringo, very talented, 5-star corner out of Georgia, very young in his career. But you see Baker is already out of bounds. So you've got to give that quarterback some real estate. But look at the ball location here. I mean, how much better of a ball could this have been right here? So this is actually a Brady Gronk play. We've already done a deep breakdown on how the Kansas City Chiefs use this principle. It's floating in the top right corner of your screen. And basically, it's having a guy stay in to block to help an end and then have them release about a second or two after the snap. It is really hard to account for a receiver or a running back or a tight end who does this. So instead of a tight end, they get their number one receiver, Jalen Polk, the rookie, to help chip. And then when he's done chipping, he then releases, okay? One thing, this Patriots offensive line was incredible for Drake Maye. Absolutely incredible. So everybody just sunk so far back into coverage. Drake Maye throws a very nice ball right here to Polk. And look at this. Whoop! I can't do this, Wami. What a play here by Jalen Polk. And this is amazing hustle right here by Nakobe Dean. He was actually the blitzer, and he's able to chase it down. All right, we get to the 2nd and 11. Eagles bring the simulated pressure. All right, second level blitzer, drop the backside in. All right. The best thing to do against this, especially if it's too high and they're backpedaling, is just run a little stop and take the yards. It's a bad throw by Drake Maye. Now, it is tough being a quarterback in empty right here, and I do like the anticipation and the process of seeing this, but this is really bad stuff. You cannot miss this that high because a lot of these balls get deflected into an interception. It could ricochet right into a guy, and then it's off to the races the other way. The best screen I have seen so far in the NFL preseason. Lots of pressure coming. This is as well disguised of a screen you are ever going to see. All right? The backer who's blitzing is actually the one who gets slipped behind by the running back. So the Patriots get the nuts here, right? They have an unblocked blitzer that's accounting for the running back right here, and he slips. And the backer was actually twisting behind it as a secondary pressure. Georgia, with Nakobe Dean, actually did a lot of this. And now this backer is passed up on, all right? Just a fun little slip. So you have 6 guys behind the line of scrimmage, and the running back is behind all of them. Just an absolutely, positively, ridiculously fun play design right there. Obviously, you get a little lucky that, the defense is calling the absolute best thing for this play to succeed. But good job by Drake getting it out. So what's hilarious was in our first Patriot film study, you guys called me every name in the book. Well, I say you guys. Some of you did. All I suggested was Drake Maye was a better runner than Joe Milton in college. And once again, Joe Milton is a solid runner. Drake Maye's just better in that category. That's a really good zone read pull. Ironically, Joe Milton is actually a good zone read puller as well. But since so many of you were so vocal about my take, let's actually take a look at the numbers and the tape. So as you can see, the career numbers aren't really that close, especially when you add context. Drake Maye breaks a crap ton of tackles. Here's another zone read pull, and then at the end, you'll see him Josh Allen a guy. And then versus NC State here, it's a good job stepping up into this pocket and watch him juke the hell out of the safety, and it's off to the freaking races. And this Clemson game had a ton, and I mean a ton, of highlight reel runs. Now, what about Joe Milton? Well, not quite as good. And you take a look, they actually called a lot of just design runs for Drake Maye. And this isn't even 2022. Good stat here from Dame, where he led his own team in rushing yards. So you take a look at the game log here for Joe Milton. He only had one real explosive running game, and that was against bad UTSA. And it was on the first play of the game, 181-yard run, zone read pull. Nobody touches him. This really isn't impressive at all. So you take away that 181-yard run, and you see his rushing stats crater even lower. All right, so the Patriots, another vintage Patriot play. This is called Hoss Juke, okay? This is a McDaniel actual staple. So you're running Hoss, which is goes from the slots and comebacks from the outside routes with a juke route over the middle. So the way this is normally run is you start off looking right, and then you work back here to the receiver on the juke. Okay, so Drake Maye starts off looking right, doesn't want to throw it. I normally on Hoss juke, if the corner is really this far off, especially in 2nd and 15, I would just throw it, right? I wouldn't even bother, working backside. Obviously, this is not a ball you want to be late on because it is a pick six, but that's enough cushion to just fire it in right there and make it a manageable third. So Maye says, look, I'm going to work backside here and look at the juke or just step up into a wide open pocket. And as you can see, they actually had the juke doubled, right here. It's rarely doubled. So Drake Maye says, look, F it. I'm not going to throw that. Thank goodness he didn't. And he's just going to take off and run. Obviously, you would like to see him break this tackle and gain more yards there. You wouldn't think that the deep post is going to be open, right? This is the single receiver side. There is a safety very much shaded to the single receiver side. All right. So Drake Maye says, look, at the snap, I'm going to work to the left. And obviously, nothing is open. But apparently, the safety who was on that side decided to go over the top over here. And Drake Maye actually does go for the bomb. And look at this ball location. I mean, look at this. That's unbelievable, right? Now, obviously, that's not right in stride. The ball location could have been better, but resets his feet, has time to make this throw, looks pretty good mechanically. Obviously, there's so many quarterback coaches that say you can get it out a half second sooner, but I don't know about this, man. Obviously, he had to leave his feet for it. You've got to make this catch. You just do, and he doesn't. Oh, man, what a freaking ball. I'm not going to show you the beginning of the play. He was able to break contain and just throw it here to lead to fight another down. You love to see it. It's 3rd and 8 now, and nothing is open. Or at least it doesn't look like anything is open here. So Drake Maye decides to just give his guy a chance to make a play. This is also an overthrow. Baker is just absolutely swallowed whole. Once again, just way too close to the sideline. But they get bailed out with a pass interference penalty. So I'm not going to do the Joe Milton reps. I actually thought, even though these numbers don't look good for Milton, he played really well. A big issue for the Patriots are the wide receivers and their skill guys. This is, quite simply put, the worst set of offensive skill guys in the NFL. I like Polk. Obviously, Baker had a rough game. But I do like him as well. And it's a good job by Drake Maye throwing it away. These two young quarterbacks have their work cut out for them. You want Drake Maye to work out, right? Because he's the higher upside player. He is just the better player. He is the younger player, even though age doesn't matter as much for QB. And obviously, the Patriots got bailed out here on a pass interference airmail right here. But it's going to be very, very hard for Drake Maye to succeed in this environment. Really, really hard. I do give him a lot of credit. He showed a lot of maturity here. It's maybe old Drake Maye, North Carolina Drake Maye tries to fit that in. And he did a lot of throwaways because guys just weren't getting open. Chipped him into the rush. So the tackle has a really wide release here going up against a speed rusher. The issue when you have such a wide kick step versus a fast rusher is it does open a gaping hole to the inside, and you'll see that the running back helping him actually helped the rusher cut to the inside. All right? Now, we can get into a debate about, pocket length, him holding onto the ball too long here. But as Joe Burrow said, 3rd and long sacks just aren't as big of a deal. So, you bunch of sickos, midway through this film study, and you already haven't hit the subscribe button, do it now. Let's go. So, young quarterback, backed up, 2nd and 18 after a bad snap. What does Drake Maye do? Well, he doesn't panic, okay? He's like, all right, we're not going to get all the yards back here. He decides to play quickly and hit Jalen Polk on the out. Look at this ball location. Bang. Of course, you would like it to be a little bit lower, but it's high and away from the DB, and that's a good job by Polk fighting him off and gaining a few extra yards here. And then I had to deal with you guys when I basically said Drake Maye is more mobile than Joe Milton, who is a decent athlete. Drake Maye isn't Jayden Daniels as a runner, but he's pretty daggum good. It's 3rd and 14. He doesn't feel like anything is open, and then he decides to tuck and run it. Very good pocket presence to step up in here. But you see, he still has work to do. Okay, this is zone coverage, right? 3 guys he's got to beat here to pick up these yards, and he's able to squeeze through just enough to pick up the yards needed. And then, wow, okay, towards the end here, he gets a hand right in his face. Ugh. 2nd and 2. One thing that a lot of these quarterbacks had to get used to was being under center. Play action game could be a QB's best friend. This is honestly just a really, really good read right here by Drake Maye. Step up into this pocket, 2 hands on the football, waited for the shallow crosser, and actually, look at this. I would love to see the end zone angle of this. It looks like he's actually looking vertical, and then at the very last second decides to throw this cross. Was this a no-look pass? Like, I'm being serious. It looks like, because you could just see that this defender is actually going this way, and at the last second he decides to throw over here. I actually thought he was throwing over here, but he hits Jalen Polk even deeper down the field, and look at that. Okay, that I don't think it was a no-look, but it looked pretty daggum good. Hitting that deep crosser. 2nd and 12. Once again, you don't need to pick up all the yardage here. They are bringing a second-level blitz. Okay, DB is playing this far off. Just hit the comeback route right here and make it a manageable 3rd. That's a really good throw. Really good catch right there by 11. Actually, it was a little bit of a bobble. All right, 3rd and 8. And this was a major criticism of Drake Maye in college is in the pocket. He does have a tendency to give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. I want to get lost in your rock and roll. And drift away. Okay?
Stop it. Get some help.
I didn't need to do all that. He does have a tendency to drift, but sometimes he drifts to get closer to the target. Okay, or give him a better angle to throw to the target. Okay, I know it's very cut off, little pump fake here, and he still has the arm strength to throw this football right back to number 3, and he's able to pick up a 1st down. Y'all, this is really good stuff. First off, give a lot of credit to the Patriots pass protectors. I mean, look, Drake Maye saw that this DB was playing off, and he actually decides to throw to his running back here on the comeback route. The DB actually sees it, so semi-dangerous throw, but he gets it there. Elite arm strength, and the running back is able to get upfield and score. Really good stuff right here, and now we just need you to get in there, and he does. Lift off, baby. One thing I don't understand why teams don't do this is pre-snap motion. Okay, so Patriots in a heavier personnel grouping, this is called an unbalanced line. Okay, so they actually brought in an extra offensive lineman as a tight end, and they also have a tight end here. So in theory, this is 12 personnel, but it's not, right? Unbalanced line. Okay, play action fake here. You get a motion, and so you know this is man coverage, and they're trying to hit something deep. Okay, it is indeed cut off. And we also get a cleat on the ground. It's Drake Maye's cleat, okay? Cleats on the ground. So barefoot Drake Maye, I would have loved to have seen him actually uncork this thing. But at the very last second, I want you to see first off, I don't know what his hand size was. That is amazing grip to not lose this ball because that would, in theory, potentially be a fumble. But at the last second, he sees that this running back who he initially play action to has space, and he decides to just throw it in a semi-dirty pocket and hit him for a pretty nice gain here on 1st down. That's really, really, really good awareness, and now the Patriots are cooking yet again. All right, 2nd and 11. The Patriots' protection, for the most part for Drake, had actually been pretty good. This is actually a really good counter move right here by 91. Throw him off of you, just a little swim, hit that elbow, all right? And this is a big benefit of Drake Maye. he's huge, right? I mean, this guy is an absolute unit. So he can really see over these linemen, all right? And this is him as vertical as you'll ever see a defensive lineman. So he's able to still throw over the top of this guy and still feel confident enough in the pocket to fully step up into it while getting crushed throwing this comeback route. And look, folks, at this ball location, it's really good, okay? While you're getting hit, obviously it could be better, but all things considered, that is a really, really, really good job right there to get that ball back to Thornton. And I know it was incomplete. All right, 2nd and 11, and Commanders are in what looks at the beginning to be cover 6, actually turns into single high, or middle of the field closed, and Drake Maye decides to work this slant here, and accuracy issues are there with Drake, and he just missed it. Obviously, that looks like a miscommunication. Maybe he thought he was just going to sit right here. But you're going to get some of that here, especially in year 1. All right, so I am in the middle on this rep. Please correct me, you guys, if I'm wrong. The first thing is a little weird, no play action fake, and the reason is because 36 saw that this guy was blitzing. That's a good job by 36, finding the protection and getting here, okay? This is decent protection. Obviously, that's a lot of bull mixed in there. And Drake really sits in to allow this play to develop. And essentially, and you'll see it here on the throw, it's pretty amazing he's still able to get that much strength without fully being able to step into it. But what the Patriots decided to do was run a deep over, a shallow over, and another shallow over. And as you can see, it's just basically covered. All right, there is nothing open. So he tries to fit this ball to KJ Osborne. There is a tiny window here, but should he have thrown this? I don't know, because it was almost a pick, okay? Does a better receiver get to this ball right here? I would say yes. I mean, that's not the absolute worst ball location, all things considered. But that's a throw into double that you probably really don't want to make. But feel free to correct me if I'm wrong down below. All right, same drive. You get a holding penalty, and now it's 2nd and Bethesda. And it's a mess, right? You're barely getting this play off. You're struggling to get aligned. And Drake Maye gets penalized because Jalen Reagor is still a thing. This is a ridiculous, ridiculous throw. Now, before I show you the throw, there's going to be smarter QB guys that will discuss a lot of these double pumps. There were a lot of these kind of double pump kind of throws with Drake Maye, and that's a thing that's going to be a lot harder to get away with when you're actually playing versus starters, right? Because timing is just such a big thing. And you'll see it right here. It's just a little bit of a pump. You see, he decided to throw it and then, added a little extra beat for Reagor. And look at this ball location. Bang. Perfect. Away from this DB, so it's not a medicine ball. And that would have allowed Reagor to get upfield and potentially make him miss, at least fall forward for a few extra yards. Well, he decided to be Jalen Reagor, and he Jalen Reagored it. All right, 1st and 5. Love this thought process here by Drake Maye. 1:25 left to go in the second quarter. 1st and 5. Let's see if we can get a chunk play here. And you'll see Drake Maye decide to uncork this thing down the sideline. Tight spiral. He just leads Javon Baker a little too far, okay? But I like the recognition. Move ahead to the 2nd and 7. And you notice one thing Drake Maye did throughout. He threw the football to the press coverage side quite a bit, whether it was a go ball or whether it was a comeback route. And once again, he does love to wait till the very last second to throw the football. Lots of pocket climbing. Look at this with the guy right there. Throws the ball to this comeback route. Bang! Right in the chest. And that's really good recognition right here by Javon Baker to get upfield and then pin himself to the sideline. Good stuff. 1st and 20, yet again. Drake Maye having to overcome a few mistakes. He steps up into this pocket. There's a bull rush right up the middle, but the pocket is still really good. And Drake works the out, okay? Ball location, good. KJ Osborne makes a really good catch and is able to get out of bounds. All right, so we get to the 2nd and 15, and this was something we brought up in our Bryce Young film study, all right? The spacing of some of these routes are a little weird, okay? Some of it could be a miscommunication, and one thing you do see Drake Maye do a lot of for a young quarterback is a lot of scanning and processing, okay? Starting off looking right, then working back to the left. I really want to get the all-22. As you can see, nothing's open. He's trying to just find the most open guy. But what I want to show you here is the spacing, all right? Do you really want two guys in the same vicinity? I don't know where exactly he's throwing this football here either. This is a pretty clear throwaway, if you ask me. Just chunk it into, the stands. But that is just not a good throw, okay? I mean, there's basically nothing I can really add to this other than, why are you not starting this guy? I mean, this is just ridiculous, okay? Lose contained, but they lost contained to the left side, which is better versus a right-handed quarterback. But you know what Drake Maye said? Carter, forget that. I could throw against my body. And, wow. I understand that this guy is wide the frick open, but that's just some of the playmaking ability that Drake Maye gives you. Now, this was brought back for a holding penalty, but man, oh man, you're just probably not getting that with Jacoby Brissett. I actually never got around to doing a Caleb Williams versus the Bills breakdown, but this very first throw might be the best throw of any quarterback this preseason. Okay, I'll go ahead and play it for you. It's obviously third in Lollapalooza here. And Caleb, my goodness gracious, this is redunculous, okay? He starts off looking right and works all the way back to the left. Now, the first thing about Caleb Williams is he is very, very comfortable back there as a quarterback. So when you only show him a four-man rush, not only is he going to trust his offensive line, he's also going to trust his feel for the game to escape rushers. So it's something you really can't do unless you have a Max Crosby, which obviously the Bills don't, because Von Miller did not play this preseason. So he starts off looking right, and as you can see, there's just nothing open here to the right. So he works all the way back to the left, waits for this defender to come down on the running back, just leaking out here to the flats, and then this window opens, and look at when Caleb is actually deciding to throw this football here to DJ Moore right now. Okay, there was a little bit of a hitch there, but I mean, honestly, all things considered, this is such a high-level throw. And then we get to here, I mean, my goodness, this is just incredible stuff. So the Bills said, look, I'm tired of letting Caleb just sit back here and cook us. So you'll see at the very last second, he just flips this little screen right here to DeAndre Swift. It's really, really good stuff. You get a big block right there. And honestly, I need real Bears fans and Eagles fans and Lions fans to help me out. I'm in the middle on DeAndre Swift. I'm a big fantasy drafter. I've done 200 drafts on Underdog and a few, actually quite a few on DK as well. I don't know how I feel about Swift as a talent, because here he actually left a lot of yards on the field by tripping on his own. Okay, that's at least an extra 5 or so yards, potentially a touchdown. We then get to here, and this was not so great. Obviously, nothing really opened itself up. I'm kind of in the middle on Luke Getsy as an offensive coordinator. I'm kidding, y'all. It's a little inside joke that you'll see in the next video. But Shane Waldron, I mean, nothing is open. Kind of in the middle on him as a play caller. They get bailed out on a phantom pass interference call. So we get to the next play here, and a lot of you have seen breakdowns of this already. Love this call, okay? And I'm coming from, being a daily LSU content creator. LSU did this a lot with Malik Neighbors, and it would be stupid to not do this if you're Brian Daboll. Split zoning, in theory, your wide receiver. Normally, it's a tight end leaking out here, but why not do it with the receiver, DJ Moore? The end slips. This is a dangerous position to be in. Caleb Williams with contained broken, and he goes to DJ Moore, and it's a nice explosive game. And this, I mean, goodness, I just don't even know where to begin with this. Pump fake this throw, unblocked guy right in your face, and Caleb uncorks this. Yes, it is open, but to have the arm strength to fire that in is ridiculous. Caleb himself did a breakdown of this play.
I had a plan in my mind of what they were going to do defensive-wise, and then they dropped out of it. They went two-man. At first I thought I think DeMar was on the left side. I thought he was going to rotate, and the right safety was going to rotate down. Not. He bluffed it, got over top of the vertical, I believe, to Rome. And then after that, I got down to my back. My back was covered, and I saw the C's part, realized it was two-man, and took off.
Another good throw right here from Caleb Williams. Bang, play action fake. Don't throw this. I mean, this didn't get you anywhere. Damar Hamlin's right here. Let's wait for DJ Moore to get in this window. God bless America. I mean, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay? And DJ Moore dropped it. All right, here we go. Wide receiver coaches, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but this, I mean, it's once again ridiculous play right here by Caleb Williams. I understand it's a lot of backups on defense. I understand that, okay? So nothing's open over here. Nothing. All right? So Caleb pumps, and then eventually he sees that Rome Odunze is on a scramble drill running open, okay? But Rome decides to go flat. I think Caleb thought he was going to go to the pylon here, and because he decided to go flat, this receiver kind of, blocked off Rome right here, and it got kind of awkward. If Rome would have gone more here, it looks like that would have been an overthrow anyway. But if he was right here, he would have had a better shot. Caleb Williams breakdown, man. This guy is so freaking fun. Comment below, do you believe he is the best rookie quarterback? I'll give you my answer at the end of this video. Obviously, this was a misfire here, pretty high to Keenan Allen. We get the second down, got a little pre-snap jet motion right here. As we've seen with all the rookie quarterbacks, under center play action could be your absolute best friend. A lot of teams run this play right here where you start off with your tight end and you motion him back right here. You whip him back. And Caleb decides to throw this to Gerald Everett. And, well, there is a linebacker right there. Some would say, hey, why didn't you throw this deep over right here to Keenan Allen? And, well, yeah, I mean, that would have been there. The Bears have a new offensive coordinator in Luke Getsy. And yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this at all. On 3rd and 10, and you run all your routes way past the sticks. It just rarely works. I understand we can't get the full angle, but these are such long throws. DBs are able to play back. They're all over this, and this is what Caleb's going to be facing this year. They're not going to let him scramble and make plays. He's going to be facing a lot of mush rushes, right, where everyone just kind of stays in their pass rush lane, and he can't scramble or really extend. They want him double pumping, staying in this pocket, and he just kind of just throws this thing up here, and it's a 3-and-out to start the game. All right, so we get to this 3rd and 5. It's an in here and an in from the tight end. It is interesting. Actually, it's trips bunch. The tight end is actually whipping behind these two in breakers. You see this route concept quite a bit. It's run a lot actually in college as well. And, this is where the ball should go, okay? And, should you throw it there? Should you throw it there? I don't know the progressions or anything like that, but it is short of the line to gain. So one of my hotter Bears takes is I don't think Cole Kmet's just going to be completely phased out of this offense just because they have Keenan Allen and Rome Odunze now. Yes, he will lose some targets to Gerald Everett in snaps, but he's just a big body tight end, and he falls for it. That's a really good job by Caleb getting the football out there for a nice gain. All right, 3rd and 2. Press man. DJ Moore's got to win this. I mean, I don't know too much about this Bengals corner right here, but this is where you want to go with the football, right? Your guy versus his. It's just straight man-to-man coverage, and this DB just dominates DJ Moore, okay? Now, we could get into a debate over the left arm pulling back right there, but they never really call that. All right, it's second down in Timbuktu. Bears actually call a really good screen. This is what you want. All four of these guys pass the line of scrimmage right here, and it's actually retraced pretty well by this defensive line. The issue is you miss a block right here. 45 goes to the inside, and he's right here to destroy the RB, and I think that's their RB4. All right, third and 21. Obviously, it's 0-0. You just want to take these yards and make it a more manageable field goal. You'll take this all day. This is really good stuff by Caleb. Take your time, see if there is something there. The one thing you don't want to do is take a sack. And now this makes it a far more manageable field goal. Once again, we appreciate all the love. Please hit that subscribe button. We have other rookie quarterback breakdowns. Good stuff right here by Caleb. Move the sticks, get this drive going. Good throw underneath, and give your guy a chance to make a play right after the catch. Alrighty, so this is a really good job by the right defensive end to, beat this tackle to the inside. And Caleb does a good job avoiding him. Bo Nix had this issue, and you could see it in our Bo Nix film study. You could just reset your feet and make this throw. Right? You don't have to make this more difficult by running into a defensive lineman who's engaged right here, right? You allowed that to affect your throw. Could have reset your feet, threw it, and you just miss a wide open target. Ugh. But thankfully he missed it because we got to have this moment of magic, all right? So shallow drag here out, running something behind it, and there's a go route here. And Caleb holds on to it, which is what he does. Once again, defensive lineman, it is more important to stay on your feet than anything else. And when you lose your feet, you allow him to buy all this extra time. He throws this football against his body, and look at the ball location here. Bang! To Rome Odunze, and that's a huge gain. You'll see this ball location from this angle. What is that? On a rope. On an absolute, positively a rope of a ball. Now, this is just downright ridiculous. I mean, Caleb, come on. These people have families, all right? You're faking a stretch here to the left to Khalil Herbert, and now you're working back to the right side. I love this play design in the red zone because you got your two best receivers dragging across here, all right? So Caleb can throw this, which he probably should have, but he's like, this is my RB4. I'm not throwing this. I'm going to try and make something happen. He could have thrown this as well, okay, to Gerald Everett, and this would have been a walk-in touchdown, but it's always dangerous throwing across your body like that. It's a lot quicker for these guys to close down on it, whatever. So Caleb's like, all right, I'm just going to stop and embarrass this guy in front of all his friends and family and roll out here into the short side of the field. And he actually did have multiple people open. Look at this ball location. You would like for Odunze to have better awareness because he would have caught this for an easy touchdown, but he lost where he was on the field. And this is going to be the big thing with Caleb. Can you play on time? So he starts off looking to the left and then decides to work back to the right on the whip, okay? And, there's a few things here. Could this right here have been thrown? Yes. If you put that on this shoulder, he's probably walking into the end zone for a tutty. Okay? Now you're working back right, and because it took too long, the receiver took his eyes off of Caleb, and now he's running into the space over here. Okay? And now you don't want to throw this. All right? So he rolls out to the right and then decides to stay central. Bengals have really struggled keeping their feet, but he decides to throw it away and live to fight another down. All right, third down, you're an empty, okay? no blitzers. So if I'm playing Caleb Williams, I'm never giving him just a static 4-man rush because he does this as well as anyone. All right, just buying time. He's very comfortable in this spot. I also want you to see this. Look at the processing here to not just to take his eyes off of down here to look back here at this pass rusher. So he says, look, I'm just going to step back into the space I was in and then roll back this way, right? Russell Wilson was so good at that, using the defensive lineman's leverage against him. And now he's trying to find someone. Could this have been ripped right here? Yes, but this DB could have peeled off and made this play. So he's saying, hey, come closer to me. Come closer. And Caleb says, F it. I'm just going to run this thing in myself. DB takes his eyes off the QB, and Caleb gets in for his first rushing touchdown. So I want to shout out our friends at nooffseason.com. One of our top viewers, Mr. Brand, at this game. He got to witness what he got to witness. I don't know if I, as a defensive coordinator, am ever just rushing a static 4 versus Caleb Williams because of how good he is at manipulating and just making guys miss, right? Using your leverage, making them run all over the place. It's insane. This was a really, really fun performance. Obviously, you saw some timing misses. I also called Luke Getsy Shane Waldron a little bit earlier. So, yeah, I would like to see Caleb play more on time. Let's go! Jayden Daniels absolutely crushes it in his preseason debut versus the New York Jets. We've seen enough. No reason to play him anymore because, well, we know he's got the juice. Obviously, a misfire here to Austin Eckler on the screen. Is Jayden at LSU? He didn't really throw to his running backs a whole lot. So that's going to be, something, especially if you have Austin Eckler on your team, you want to take advantage of his best skill set. Since this was zone coverage, they had this pretty much covered anyway, so this would have been stopped, but you still want this throw to be better from Jayden. But as someone who is probably the biggest Jayden Daniels fan out there, I've watched pretty much every throw of the last 5 years of his collegiate career. Man, this is just what he does best. He is an excellent deep ball thrower down the sideline, going back to his true freshman days. Now, before we actually show you this rep right here, Jayden does not mind dirty pockets. Obviously there is a school of thought that you don't want to sit back here and take any type of hit. You want to be up a little bit more into this pocket, but he's such a good deep ball thrower. Going into his final year at LSU, his release got so much quicker, and he doesn't really, you could see he doesn't really need to fully step into this. He's not always going, he's just not an elite arm, but he's got a lot of juice, man. He really, really, really does. An absolute tight spiral. He used to have an issue with the ball wobbling, and this is Dynamic Brown, right? Bang! Look at that ball location, and this is actually his former college teammate, Jarek Bernard Converse, in coverage. And it's going to be interesting, right? Dynamic Brown really hasn't done a whole lot in his collegiate career coming out of North Carolina. The thing about a great quarterback and a great deep ball thrower is sometimes receivers, they don't get open. It's just the ball throws them open, right? We've seen Matthew Stafford do this throughout his career. Just put the ball where only he could get it. Look at that. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. You really can't do it any better than that. And Jayden, man, that patented smile. This is something he brings in the red zone, right? This is just simple RPO football. 12 personnel set right here, and Jayden right here is just doing a numbers count, okay? If this guy tucks into the box right here, he's throwing this. If not, you're running zone read. So he's reading this defender right here. Look at this. He decides to stay in, so you're going to throw this football really quickly out here to Terry McLaurin, and that's perfect ball location. You just need a better block right here by Jahan Dotson. If that's a better block, you're probably getting a few extra yards, but still, that's something you love to see. So then you get a penalty, and you're thinking it's going to be a throw. It's a good, I don't know if it was a check into a run, but Jets are playing really soft. Look at how far these backers are off. You want to be able to run on this look. And let's see how this goes. Okay, you get an in, cutting up field. That's what you want to see. In this situation, he thought it was a pass. Honestly, that's not bad defense, just looking at how the look was. But a good call right there to pick up some yards to set up the 3rd and goal. So now here is the 3rd and goal play. And this is what Jayden does better than practically everyone. You show him all these, this looks like, this is duo. Or is this inside zone? I think this is duo. Either way, zone read handoff. Jayden reads us in crashes down right here on Austin Eckler, and he pulls it. And Jayden, in the red zone, even though he's not the biggest guy, he is a tough runner. Good blocker here on the outside. And Jayden did this in college. So many of these walk-in touchdowns. It's dangerous playing that game, but he walks in a lot. And you're going to be seeing this a lot for the Commanders. I got a lot of heat and homerism for saying that he's already my QB2 in the NFC. And I understand this is just one preseason game. But, y'all, if you're not drafting him now in your fantasy leagues at the price tag, next year he will be in the Josh Allen tier. It is free. So go win your league. Go draft him. Let's go. So Jayden Daniels, his second preseason performance. Our first video set some records. And look, you guys flinged me for what I said about his preseason game versus the Jets. And a little bit later, for those that are just new to the channel, I am an LSU YouTuber, so I have watched every single Jayden snap. Right here, you get a double-A gap pressure look, and they decide to drop the edge and bring both guys, and guess what? Boom. Really good blitz pickup. Good job by Jayden to have everything set up. Everyone's been crapping on this Commanders offensive line, and this is actually a route that Jayden has thrown more than probably anyone else in this draft class. It's not just a comeback route, but it's a comeback route with the guy draped. So Jayden did more of this in 2022 compared to 2023, where guys would just be draped all over Malik Neighbors or Brian Thomas Jr., more often than not Malik Neighbors, and he would still be able to make an accurate throw. Now, Malik would generate a lot of separation, but even if he didn't, Jayden still trusted him to make a play, and Jayden's ball location, particularly in 2023, got so much better. I mean, look at that. Look at that, right? All right, here we go. Jayden, I mean, this is just absolutely ridiculous stuff. Abso-freaking-lutely ridiculous. So Miami going into this game was going to say, look, we know Jayden could scramble. What we're going to do is we're going to bring layers to our pressure. So instead of just bringing everyone at once, we're going to have a spy kind of loop around because Jayden loves to scramble. And sometimes in college, he could just scramble right into a sack, right? So that's what Miami's trying to do. But the thing is Jayden is really good from the pocket as well. Okay, he gets back into this drop. He could throw this ball right here to the tight end for an absolutely massive gain of yards. But I want you to see this ball location again to Terry McLaurin. It is bang on a rope right there. It is unreal. We get to this 3rd and 3, and obviously this is not Jalen Ramsey Terry McLaurin is going up against, but it's still ridiculous stuff right here by Jayden Daniels. He's like, look, you're going to give my one-on-one to my absolute best receiver. Look at the decisiveness when Jayden's deciding to throw this football. It's really good. All quarterback coaches on comebacks can always say it could be a little bit sooner, but the ball location allows Terry McLaurin to turn up field and make a play, right? Terry is 30 years old, and there's Jalen Ramsey right there. So this is one of his last hurrahs. And that is ridiculous stuff. Absolutely ridiculous. So my copy here is a little cut off. Jayden misses Jahan Dotson out here. Jahan Dotson's just not a good receiver, right? I understand he missed him. That ball's got to be better. But still, when you throw the ball to Jahan Dotson, you've got to throw the ball absolutely perfect. All right, we get to here. 2nd and 10. And we get a motion right here. So that is giving Jayden an indication that it's probably going to be some variation of a soft zone, okay? Now, it's really cut off here. I hate it when they do that. I obviously much prefer the wider angle. I think most fans do as well. And we'll be incorporating more all-22 stuff as the season moves on. And once again, they bring a simulated pressure. Everything is picked up really well But even if it wasn't, Jayden is playing so fast, right? Look at him, see Diami Brown, and bang, hits him right there for a nice gain to make it a manageable third. So, yeah, I guess in theory, you can make a case that this out can be thrown to this side right here and it be complete. But the thing about throwing that out here is if the cloud corner sees it and picks it off, it's a touchdown going the other way. Plus, we're in scoring position. You don't want to risk that. So he decides to just throw this up to Terry McLaurin because the corner did bite down. And, man, it wasn't a good throw at all. But why wasn't it a good throw? Well, there was a lot of pressure. It was a really good blitz call. They overloaded this side and they backed out right here. And, well, if you're Jayden, you don't want to take any hits. And, I think in an actual game, Jayden is rolling out here and doing something. All right, we move ahead to the second and medium, and this really is the only patented Jayden play, right? The zone read pull, you just can't crash if you're an end, or you got to have some contained responsibility. And once again, I can just tell that Jayden doesn't have the full burners on. If he did, this would have been a far more explosive play, and he's still able to break a tackle and fall forward here. Kingsbury, there we go. Some quick RPO kind of stuff. You see this defender sneak into the box right here. Okay, Jayden, he's reading this defender, and he decides to throw it. This is the right read. Okay, a handoff would have been interesting there because they did have some good blocks to the inside, but he throws the ball here to Jahan Dotson, who, once again, I think is average, and it's a disgrace to the single-digit number 1, excuse me. If you wear number 1, you got to break tackles and make plays. He just doesn't do that. All right, here we go, 2nd and 7, and whoa! What? Am I getting mooned by a Smurfy or what the heck? Either way, this is just very creative right here from Cliff. Play action fake, draw these backers in, slip your tight end over the middle, and I would have loved to have seen this be Ben Sinnott, the rookie, but instead it's Bates. And when it comes to ball location, you would have liked to have seen this ball hit in stride. Obviously, that backer right there probably concerned Jayden, and you have to run that play pretty quickly. But overall, Jayden's ball location in this game was insane. So, this is once again really ridiculous stuff. So, backer blitzes, edges blitzing, and now you get a 3-on-3 out here. All right, good read again by Jayden on the RPO. Now, once again, I don't know for sure if these are RPOs. I would need to be in the meeting room. Okay, of course, the ball location could have been better on the upfield shoulder, but he got it there. And now you just got to have someone make a play. Let's see, Jahan Dotson, he can't block either. We saw it in the Jets game. That's actually a really good job by Olamide Zacchaeus. I've never been able to say his name. Jayden Daniels. And if you are a super Jayden Daniels fan, go to Power Hour LSU. I have a gazillion film studies. Every single throw he made in college, we did a breakdown. And we finally get Austin Eckler on the screen. Okay? This is what the Commanders want to do. Okay? First off, love this play design, okay? Love the sequencing of this play design. So you're hitting quick screens to the left, quick screens to the left. You get a trips here to the left side, and you slip to the right. That's really good stuff. And look at the spacing on this from Cliff. You have all these receivers drawing all these players over here, okay? So now you're running the screen back this way, and let's see how many yards you can get. Overall, good throw right here by Jayden. And this is who you want with the football. One of the best receiving backs you'll ever see in Austin Eckler. So, good job by the guard peeling back. And they actually do get the blocks necessary. Dolphins did a good job mitigating this play. But still, the design was good. Execution could be cleaner. And if you are a Commanders fan, I'm going to be doing a Jayden film study every week this year. All right, so we get to this 3rd and 11. And, yeah, I mean, there's not really a whole lot you can do, okay? It's cover 3, and everyone is just so far back. So, what I like to do, all right, this was a start and stop. Let's see, did he get over the top of this? No, that's just not going to be there. It's a good job by the DB. Love the wide camera angle as well so we could see everything. I mean, everything is just capped here. Let's see if this in-breaker on this 3rd and 11 is there. No. I mean, come on. So he makes the right decision. Just hit this check down. And guess what? You can go for it on 4th. This is a very long throw. Puts it right on the target. And Bates, once again, I would like to see Ben Sinnott be this guy because Sinnott is really good with the football in his hands.
I don't think you really know how anybody's playing in preseason. I mean, especially at the quarterback position. The schemes are so simple.
So is Bill Belichick being a hater, or is he telling the God's honest truth? Well, let's first dive a little bit deeper into these rookie quarterback stats, and you are about to see something unfreaking believably shocking. So Drake Maye, obviously pretty solid. Bo Nix, 3 tutties, 205, and 110 yards rushing. That's not him, but that's the overall Broncos offense. Caleb Williams, as you can see, low completion percentage, but there were a lot of drops. A guy stepping out of bounds on a completion for a tutty. Jayden Daniels, as you can see, very efficient. And we could go even deeper with the Pro Football Focus grades. And as you'll see, Drake Maye trails the others. One thing, though, about Maye and Williams compared to the other two is the average depth of target for them is way higher. Jayden, of course, played very conservatively, even though that's not really his game. And we didn't get to this shocking stat thanks to our friends at nooffseason.com. And we're not only giving out a Tom Brady card, we're also giving out a Joe Montana insert as well. All you got to do is tag No Offseason Pod and Card of the Power on Twitter. This actually proves Bill Belichick is correct. 99 pass attempts amongst the 4 quarterbacks, no interceptions, and no lost fumbles either. So, yes, these quarterbacks are good. In particular, Jayden is turnover averse, but that's still pretty ridiculous. And that does back up what I saw on film. These defenses were very painfully vanilla. I think the best pure bet, especially knowing that he is going to start week 1 here, is Bo Nix at plus 1,100. I think he can have a very efficient season with Sean Payton at the helm. But that is not my favorite play out of any of these rookie QBs. So now I give you my free Rookie of the Year play. It's actually Jayden Daniels. I still like the odds at plus 600. One thing that's working against Caleb Williams and Drake Maye in particular is that they are younger. You know, Bo Nix and Jayden Daniels started all 5 seasons of college football. And in particular, Jayden Daniels has started 9 consecutive seasons of football. In other words, he has never in his career been a backup. So he's got the maximum amount of experience, and I think that will translate, even though Caleb Williams has a better situation. So Jayden Daniels for Rookie of the Year. Lock it in. Now, there are more rookie quarterbacks. Bang! My J.J. McCarthy film study that you should be very skeptical of. And bam! I like this guy as well. Let's go. What are we doing tonight for dinner? Oh, lemon pepper chicken wings. Let's go.